Hello and welcome to the Write Anyway podcast from Pages and Platforms and the Happily Ever Author Club. I'm Anne Hawley, and in today's episode, I talk with Helen McConnell about using EFT tapping to overcome writer's block. Helen has been a certified EFT tapping practitioner for 14 years, and in that time, she's helped hundreds of people change their lives by tapping to resolve trauma, relieve pain, release old thinking patterns, clear overwhelm, and so much more. Full disclosure, she's also my sister, and I've benefited countless times from her EFT tapping therapy. So, on with the interview.
Hi, Anne.
Hi, Helen. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for inviting me to do this.
Oh, I'm excited because I need your help.
Okay, well, I'm excited because I'm happy to help. And I just want your listeners to know that if they've heard of tapping, I won't need to tell them anything. They're probably already convinced that it works. If they've never heard of tapping and they think it's weird, I suggest it won't hurt you. Just do it anyway. Follow along with us and see what kind of benefit you can get from it, because it's such an amazing tool and it's so easy to use. You can use it. You can take 60 seconds with it. You can take an hour with it, whatever you need. It is a very flexible tool. But today we're talking specifically about your listeners who might experience some form of writer's block.
I think people should understand from my experience with tapping that even if writer's block per se isn't what you're dealing with today, but some other aspect of your creative life, you will get something out of following along with this.
Yeah.
I have found that to be true, even if the subject isn't real specific to me. If I go along and do the tapping and think of my own thing, I can still get a ton of benefit. So hopefully people will just follow along and get a ton of benefit.
Well, yes, we actually have borrowed benefits, it's called. And you can tap along even if your thing has nothing to do with what we're tapping on. And your mind will translate what we're doing into something that applies to you. Okay. All right. So since you volunteered to be the person with writer's block, why don't we just dive right in, Anne, and you tell me just briefly, and the beautiful thing about tapping, I don't need to know a whole story. Just tell me briefly, what is it you'd like to unblock?
Okay. I haven't done any serious writing for quite a stretch of time because I feel like I lack inspiration. There's sort of nothing coming through.
Oh, okay. All right. Like all your good ideas are all dried up, kind of?
Yeah, it's so dried up that I feel like I've never had one before.
Okay. All right. It's interesting that you say that, because in the description I sent to you earlier, those were almost the exact words that I had sent. Is like, if you're feeling like you can't get yourself to sit down and write, or you can sit down and write, but all the ideas seem to have left you, this will really help. All right.
Okay.
So as you sense into that lack of inspiration feeling, where, and this is really important, where in your body do you notice the feeling?
Inside my mouth, kind of like hollow mouth, and down, really down, far down deep, the bottom of my gut down here.
Okay, like almost to your pelvic bowl almost?
Yeah, down there.
Okay. Oh, those are, I mean, that can tell us a lot. But we don't need to figure it out. That's the thing. What we're intending to do with the tapping is to help you have an experience where some of those feelings begin to shift.
Okay.
And if the feelings begin to shift, there's a good chance everything else will shift with it. Not always, but usually. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how intense are those feelings?
7.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And this is subjective. Nobody's going to check to see if the number's right. It's to help you measure later when does it seem any different. So just lean into it. Acknowledge what's going on for you. Acknowledge that you would like to be writing more. Is that right? Do you want to be writing more or not?
Yeah. Let's assume that I do want to be writing more. Yeah.
Well, some people say that, but then they go, well, maybe I really don't want to. Maybe I've done,
okay.
All right.
No, I
so
do.
let's do some tapping. And I'm not going to teach everybody the basics. You're going to just tap along. It's so simple. If you can see me, you can follow along. We start on the side of the hand, soft, fleshy side of the hand, tap with a couple of fingers. And you repeat, and all your listeners can repeat. And you can say, even though I've got this thing I want to write.
Even though I've got something I want to write.
Okay, you don't even know. I don't even know.
I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Yes. And I feel like I lack inspiration.
I feel like I lack inspiration.
Like all my ideas have just dried up.
All my ideas.
Or maybe they were never there in the first place.
Maybe they were never there in the first place.
Okay. And I acknowledge and accept that this is how I feel.
Acknowledge and accept that this is how I feel.
And so, what was that noise?
I said, oh God, okay, yeah, this is how I feel.
A lot of people don't like to say the negative. It's like, am I just attracting the negative? No, the negative has to come up and be addressed. And what I always say is you could just tap on the positive, but that's like putting frosting on a shit cupcake. We just really don't. Okay. Okay. So even though I have this hollow mouth feeling, and I feel this intensity down in my pelvic bowl.
It's more like an emptiness, but yeah.
Oh, emptiness. Okay. All right. So it's hollow and empty. Everything's just all empty. Yeah. Okay. Good visual there. I feel like I lack inspiration. And I'm willing to accept that this is how I feel. And one more time, even though I feel this hollow feeling in my pelvic bowl, empty.
Even though I feel this empty feeling in my pelvic bowl.
And a hollow mouth feeling.
I
accept that this is how I feel.
Okay,
now we're going to tap around the points. And we're going to say a little reminder phrase about what we're doing. And you just repeat after me. You start right at the top of the head.
Okay.
This feeling. On the inner eyebrow, this hollow mouth feeling. Side of the eye, this emptiness in my pelvic bowl. Under the eye, this feeling. Under the nose, this hollow mouth feeling. On the chin, this lack of idea feeling. Collarbone, this feeling. Under the arm, this hollow mouth feeling. Okay. And just take a nice deep breath there. And bring your awareness right back to your body where it was before, and think about that you haven't done any serious writing. And how does that feel now when you think about it?
Still feels pretty crappy.
Okay, is it still feel crappy at a 7?
No, it's more like a 5.
Okay, that's why we use the number, because oftentimes you'll go, well, God, I still don't imagine that I could write, but that's not really where we're going. But a shift from a 7 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10 after just a round or two, that's pretty impressive, right? I mean, it is a noticeable difference. It feels lighter.
And you know what? It feels like instead of hollow and empty, there's little sparks in there.
Ooh, I like that one.
For what that's worth.
I think the visual, the bodily sensations and the visuals that we get from that are really, they're metaphorical. Like what if those are sparks of inspiration, you know? We don't know. We don't have to fix that. We don't have to decide. This is just to help you. Okay, so now we're going to do another round, and you just tap on the side. No, let's skip the side of the hand. Just go to the top of the head and say, this feeling. I heard you take a deep breath. Did something just open up there? Or was that just...
I'm just taking a breath.
Oh, okay. Well, a lot of times stuff moves and we're suddenly able to breathe more deeply than we were.
Right.
On the eyebrow, this hollow mouth feeling. Side of the eye, this pelvic bowl feeling. Under the eye, these feelings are starting to shift. Under the nose. I'm noticing some sparks down in my pelvic bowl.
Noticing some sparks down
On the chin. I don't know what they mean.
what they mean.
Collarbone. I don't need to know what they mean.
I don't need to know.
Under the arm. I'm simply observing what's happening.
I'm simply observing what's happening.
Top of the head and allowing my body to feel what it needs to feel.
And allowing my body to feel what it needs to feel.
All right, take a deep breath there. Perfect. Yawning is such a common thing, and I always tell people don't try to hide the yawn. And are you noticing anything else, Anne?
Yeah, but I have a hard time saying what it is.
That's okay, but it feels different. Something feels different.
Yeah, something moving in here.
Oh,
Like my sinuses are draining almost. That's weird.
no, it's not weird at all. Our bodily sensations are all so related, and we don't give them enough attention, And especially this area here, this is all your fifth chakra stuff, your throat, your jaw, probably your sinuses. And that's all about speaking your truth, which I believe writing is you're speaking your truth, right? You're speaking your creative truth.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. And then the pelvic bowl down there, usually chakra 1 or chakra 2, is about creation, all about creation. All right. So now there's not going to be any way we can prove to your listeners that you're suddenly going to be able to write this serious writing, except you might get a sense that, oh yeah, the idea of it feels easier, or maybe it doesn't. What are you noticing?
More sparks.
Okay.
Like lots of little fireflies, which not really fireflies inside my body, but like.
Well, yeah, I was kind of picturing like when you throw a burnt log, yeah, and the sparks go flying like
Oh yeah.
like that. I mean, that's kind of what I was picturing. Are they all the same color? Are they various colors, or what do you notice?
They're all like your lights behind you. They're kind of a little bright yellowish white, bright golden white.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. And let's check in again with the sensation and the intensity of it. Went from a 7 down to a 5. And where's the sensation now when you really think about, I haven't done any serious writing lately?
2.
Okay.
Maybe 3. Are you around in there? 2.5? Let's say.
Okay. I like to, find that halfway point. Again, the number is just mostly for you to monitor. Oh, there really is a shift. And is it still the same thing that you feel like you lack inspiration?
I can't say that like some big idea has come to me, but I feel like it could.
Okay, well, that seems to me like you're much more likely to get inspiration if you feel like you're ready to receive inspiration, right?
So.
Okay, all right. And is there anything else you're noticing?
Well, I can get a nice deep breath. That's nice.
And we didn't even monitor or check your breath intensity, and your jaw is loosening up.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of us, when we're feeling stressed about things, are just like, oh, and we don't even realize we're doing it. But by doing that, we're actually cutting off the inspiration or the creativity, the flow. We're cutting off the flow. And so let me ask you this. When you think about the fact that you feel like you haven't written anything serious in a while, does that put you into what I would call fight or flight mode?
No, it's more like freeze or be depressed,
Oh, okay. Well, freeze is one of the fight, flight, ors, fight, flight, or freeze are the responses we go into. So let me ask you, is there fear behind this not writing?
I think there's fear behind the writing.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good to know. What are you afraid of?
Exposure, probably.
Okay. Like being seen kind of exposure?
Mm-hmm. Like, what if I write about something that is too personal or something like that?
All right. We're going to do a little tapping on that because your audience probably can relate to that. And then I'm going to suggest that I bet a lot of people, I hear that a lot. Like, what if people don't like what I write, or they get mad, or I get in trouble, or whatever, however you word it. I'm also going to suggest that writing is your creativity. You could write a complete, beautiful novel. Doesn't mean you have to do anything with it, right?
No, that's true.
But it feels like your soul wants to write. So we're going to take the fear of being seen and just see if we can put it on a shelf somewhere. Okay. And just see if it helps to, and again, we won't really know till you go sit down at your computer and start writing. So how do you notice that you're in that freeze state? What tells you you're in freeze?
Yeah, I'm not even sure freeze is the right word, because it's this very low, flat, no energy. It's just kind of depressed more than freeze, but it's just kind of hopeless.
Oh, that's a good word for it, right?
Yeah, kind of dark and flat, sort of.
And that kind of goes along with no inspiration. Like,
that's exactly.
I'm getting the sound I hear is,
yeah, right? Kind of flat tires. Or
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And are you aware of any particular thing that brought that on?
I haven't been able to trace it to anything particular.
Okay. All right. So let's just tap and see if we can get that part of you that is trying to keep you safe, and all these parts in us just want to keep us safe, even though usually when they're keeping us safe, they're really keeping us small and hidden away, right? That's how that part works. We have to be able to soothe the nervous system, which is what we're doing with the tapping. Just soothe the nervous system. Let's just do a round or two and see if it helps at all. Just tap and say, even though I've been feeling kind of hopeless, like flat, to say, I love and accept myself. And I accept that this is how I feel. Even though this feeling seems to be keeping me from writing, I know it just wants to keep me safe. Yeah, right. But this is not a time for that kind of safety. I'm not currently in danger. You're only in danger in your mind, right?
Far. Yeah. I don't be in danger.
Exactly. Okay, that's really good. Tap on top of the head. Just say, so far. On the eyebrow. I'm only in danger in my mind. Side of the eye. But this part of me. Under the eye that wants to keep me safe. Under the nose has gone out into a future that I don't really know about. On the chin, and now it wants to keep me safe from my future. Collarbone, a future it doesn't even know about. Under the arm, it's just making stuff up. Top of the head. Say this and see how it feels. Say, but right here, right now. On the eyebrow, I'm safe. Side of the eye, I'm safe in my body. Under the eye, right here, right now. Under the nose. And now is all I really have. I'm safe right here, right now. I feel my feet on the floor. Under the arm, I feel my butt in the chair. Top of the head, I'm safe right here, right now. Okay, and then just take a breath there. And see what you notice.
It all feels so, like everything that I was so worried about feels so kind of silly.
Well, it's not silly. I mean, it is and it isn't. It's not silly because your mind has decided that this is important. But right here, right now, when you think about that, this really is the only moment you have. This is the moment to write in and the moment to live your life in. And most people, I would say a good majority of people, are living in fear. They're living in fear of something that isn't actually happening to them in the moment. And I understand that, and I'm not trying to diminish that, except I am trying to help people reduce their fear because it doesn't help anything. Doesn't make you more creative, doesn't make you safer, doesn't even help you to have a better argument with your partner or your spouse, right? I mean, you just don't think as well when you're in a fear state. And we tend to overreact and stuff like that. So, is there any other thing that you're becoming aware of or that's becoming clear to you right now?
It feels like the sort of empty, flat place is more filled up with the little sparks or the fuel. Like I could be doing something, and then the next thing that comes up, and I know we don't really have time to do a whole other session, but maybe there's one more thing,
Yeah.
but what if I don't know how to write it? Now that like something might be coming up, what if I can't do it justice? What if
Right.
what if
And
I've
that's
asked for inspiration that I'm not capable of
Well,
doing
okay. So
justice?
I'm just going to tell you my experience. You will not get inspiration for something you're not capable of doing. I mean, you have the capability to learn how to do it if you don't know how, to ask for help or to ask for coaching. I mean, you already know how to write, so you probably don't need that kind of help. But you might need a writers group or somebody to,
I'll have that.
to lovingly critique what you're writing. And again, all of those what ifs are just that part of us that just wants to keep us small and safe and hidden away. That is not your true self that's saying that. Can you feel that? Like your soul isn't saying, oh, what if you're not good enough? What if you don't write it well enough? That's not your soul. That's more your ego that does that.
Right.
Our ego has taken over and is running the show, and the ego doesn't deserve to run the show. The ego doesn't know how to be in charge.
It's also not a very good writer.
Not a very good writer, not a very good anything except keep us scared. So,
Yeah.
All right. So it'll be really interesting to, hear how you do in the next few days or weeks. Do you have a specific time you write every day or?
Every day. Yeah, every day. Always at 9, sometimes earlier.
Okay. And when you write, do you always write about the same thing? Are you waiting for inspiration or can you sort of dig down for inspiration? Try something different, write about something different tomorrow. I don't know what your writing is like.
Yeah, I don't have a specific thing that I write because I haven't had something that I'm working on for a very long time. So I just do morning pages, and I would like it to be more directed than that towards an actual story or project that's more specific.
So I'll just make one suggestion. I was just talking to a woman in my business mastermind group yesterday, and we were talking about talking to our higher guides. I didn't know if she was open to that idea, but I was explaining that I have these higher guides. And she goes, oh my God. She goes, just earlier today, I was writing. She's a writer and an artist. And she goes, I was talking to Maurice Sendak. You know who that is? Who wrote it? She was saying, I want to paint more like you. How do I do that? So I do believe we have access to, if there's a writer you admire or just the Writers Guild in the sky, say, please, I need some help. I need some guidance. They're there to help you, but you got to be willing to listen.
Yeah, I have some ideas of who I would ask.
Then ask. And I think everyone, whether they agree with this or not, try it. Don't poo-poo it. Try it.
Can't hurt to try, right?
Can't hurt to try. And you don't have to tell anybody you're doing it, but just see if you can access a higher wisdom. It's really might be your higher wisdom, but it is higher wisdom that's available. A storyline might drop in. It may not be complete, but it might be a nugget of a story that drops in, and you're suddenly like these sparks now suddenly turn into flames, and you get a really good idea.
My emotional support dad author.
Exactly. Support dad author. Exactly. All right. Well, I hope this is helpful for you and your listeners. Well, thank you for letting me do this with you today, Anne.
Thank you for helping me. I will come back and record a little tag on this when I see what kind of writing is arising from it.
Okay. I'd love to hear about it.
Thanks, Helen.
Okay,
bye. Just a quick follow-up. Since this tapping session, I'm happy to report that I've begun to have ideas again. I've written several short essays, and for the first time in ages, I've started a new story, possibly a novel-length one, and I'm really excited about it. Helen is resurrecting her old podcast called What's Bugging You, and she's looking for 3 writers willing to go on her show and do some writing-related tapping with her, kind of like what she and I did in this episode. If you're interested, drop her a line, helen@helenmcconnell.com. You can find out more about her EFT tapping practice and workshops at purposeprosperityhappiness.com. Finally, if you'd like a weekly dose of writing insight and mindset and marketing tips in your inbox, subscribe to the Write Anyway newsletter at pagesandplatforms.com/subscribe. And that's it for this episode of the Write Anyway podcast. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.